welcome back to Is It Wrong to Pick Up Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Anime review, episode number 3. This one we're covering episodes 7 through 9. And here's kind of the interesting thing about these episodes. Okay, now episode 7 and 8 adapt from book 3, and episode 9 is adapted from book 4. Why is it like this for? I have no idea. What specifically happens in these episodes? Well, we have basically sort of a big character moment for basically Bell over the course of 7 and 8. Like, apparently Ainz is interested in him. Well, not in the way of a sexual sense, basically in his abilities. So she basically, when Bell sees her, he starts to run away, looking up that she, now I should point out though, in the actual source material, she actually told somebody to stop him. In the anime, she basically jumps right in front of him, and apparently he crashes, basically goes headfirst into her butt. Yes, her butt. I thought that was quite hilarious. Yep. And basically they have a decent conversation with each other. Like about his name and of course his abilities. And it's like, have you been properly trained in martial arts? He's like, no. It's like, I'll teach you then. Cool. So they do their training on top of a wall. Yes, a wall. Which, in case you're wondering, did this happen in the original source material books? Yes, it did. And over the course of a week, they pretty much train. Oh yeah, and here's the thing. This has only happened once in the source material, and here it happened multiple times. Like, he gets knocked down, and he wakes up, he's in Ainz' lap. And he tries to run away. Eventually, last time, basically, he convinced him to not do that, and of course, they try to have a little nap time. Because you gotta sleep in dungeon at some point. Yep, and now to train him basically long enough just so that before she can go down to the dungeon with her familia for an expedition. Also, her basically historiopath found out about this, and she acts pretty hysterical. And at one point, she jumps onto like Bell's head, has his face deep into her chest. He's like, "Don't touch me there," even though you did it first. I thought that was so funny. Yep. And after finished training, him and Lily decided to go down dungeon. They go down to level 9. Yep, level 9. Now here's something interesting though. There's basically something I started back in episode 6, where this one guy, really part of the Ishtar familia, was actually having this Minotaur with a chopped up horn, basically beating him up and training him how to use a sword properly, though destroying his own sword in the process. And apparently this guy's also been killing out people from other adventurers. Eventually, when they have it where Bell gets down to level 9, like everything's going perfectly fine. And then this Minotaur comes completely out of nowhere and attacks him, and Lily gets hit, but while protecting him, and basically kind of tossed away lightly, not to hurt her, but basically told her to get away. Luck enough, she runs into, and Ainz' group basically just happened to come across one of the adventurers were attacked by the Minotaur, and they mentioned about a silver hair adventurer, and Ainz is like, oh crap. So he just runs, and her group go after her, and he ends up trying to save Bell. Just don't save me, I'll do it. Of course, he also loses part of his armor in the process. And of course, I mentioned the character Will Crane, who actually does show up in the series. I will get to him in a minute. And of course, Lily somehow basically finds him. And of course, the elf of the group basically decides to heal her wounds, basically out of kindness. And Finn, one of the members, basically is like, show up against the good guy, and it's like protecting, like trying to look good for his girl of his dreams. And he's referring to Ainz. Ainz doesn't have a reaction to it at all. The fact that he thinks that Bell has thing for her, she has no reaction at all. I'm sure she probably would eventually find out about it, but I'm sure she wouldn't mind it. Oh, and also during the training, basically he says he wants to catch somebody. Who he wants to catch up to is actually Ainz. Yep, because he doesn't mention to her until later. Yeah, it's not until later on in the series he does mention that to her. And pretty much Yeah, he takes on the Minotaur for a good period of time. He uses Fireball pretty much to incinerate the damn thing, but leaves like a little horn behind, and he pretty much like falls unconscious, standing up. Though apparently also destroys his shirt, show off his stats, and they say he's a level. As I was like shocked, but apparently he leveled up. Excuse me. And then of course he's taken back, and of course his the story basically is just there watching over him. Oh, I forgot to mention this about Freya, who appeared in the first few episodes. She is actually named after Freya from Norse mythology. She is the wife of Odin. Who, yes, this is also the same name of the same character who Marvel tends to claim is the mother of Thor, even though she really isn't. She's Thor's stepmother. His actual mother is Gaia, Mother Nature. Marvel Comics for you, they keep forgetting who Thor's mother is. They remember who Thor's father is, but not his mother. They keep forgetting that. Yeah, and people think that Zeus was the only one. A lot of people think that Zeus was basically a serial adulterer. He basically slept with multiple women. Odin did the same thing, but Freya never punished him for it. Yeah, that's I don't know if she ever did or not, but he slept with multiple women, so that's why he usually have multiple sons. Yep. So yeah, and yeah, this is all basically Ishtar's idea. And she's not getting punished for this at all. She gets punished later for something. I will not guess that right now. That happens later. Probably next season. Yep, and then of course the very next episode we get used to Will Cramo, the guy who made the armor. And like I was so surprised. I almost kind of forgot to mention this guy. Now, this is another character who was voiced by a voice actor I'm familiar with. David Wade. Yes, I'm very familiar with this guy. The first series I heard this guy in was Fairy Tail, voicing the character of Ganjul. Yes, there are characters he voiced. He voiced a character from... Yeah, at least a couple characters from One Piece. He's been in several series. The guy is one damn good voice actor. And he appears in this series. And I know he's going to appear in the film that the series has. Play the same character. And I gotta say, he does a really good job with the character. And this is probably by far the first I could think of non-Funimation dub that I can think of he's working. Because this is dubbed by Sentai Works. So, yeah, basically, they kind of reveal stuff about him. The fact that his family, he's part of a family, he used to be a very good blacksmith. His reputation kind of fell because he basically stopped making magical swords. He reveals the reason why for that, because he was tired of hearing that the swords have conquered the world. No, it's basically their special partner. So he sees that Belle. Now they go on the first party together, the first adventure together. Of course, he joins the party. Because like, okay, you become my client. In exchange, I join your party. It's like, okay, perfectly fine. Someone else joined the party, despite the fact he's part of a different guild. What guild he's part of is not revealed here. Oh yeah, apparently he doesn't go with anybody in his guild with his familiar, with the exception of his goddess, which he has a thing for. I'm not gonna remember whose guild he's part of because that probably gets revealed later. Yep. And they go down to the dungeon. They go down to floor 11. Yes, floor 11. Basically, 2 floors, laboratory 4. And they take out a bunch of monsters. And Will is basically very surprised at how fast he moves. And all of a sudden, basically, Adventure's basically running away from a freaking dragon of all things. Belle takes this dragon out, no problem at all, thanks to a new ability named Argonaut. Yep. And then, of course, they have, like, of course, because Lily fell ill at the place she's staying at. So, they take a day off and just hang out with him. Like, okay, fine. They go to his workshop, and he makes the little thing that he got for the Minotaur into a special knife that he will probably carry for the rest of the series. Of course, he likes his armor so much, and they have a pretty good conversation with each other. You actually see him actually making this particular knife with this particular horn. Yeah, all the process basically is done really well, and well, yeah. And then the episode ends pretty much with Belle, Will, and Lily going down the entranceway into floor 13. That's where the episode ends. Yep. I gotta say, pretty good set of episodes, and I like the fact that Bell got big in my character over the course of episodes 7 and 9. Well, 7 and 8. 9, he got a little bit of development, mostly just introduction to the character Willow Crumb. Yeah, they just, and here, I don't know why, how in the world they basically combined a book that's over 100 pages long into one episode. This really makes no sense, all the fact they did this, but yeah, it's weird the fact that they did this for this one book. I don't really understand. I read the book. I think it's like, if I remember, I think it's like over 200 pages long. I'm like, really? Why the heck would you basically take that long a book and try to cram it into a 23-minute episode? Makes no freaking sense. Yeah. I'm looking forward to basically having for episode 4 where I'm going to finish up this season. Yep, episode 4 is going to finish up season 1. 5 is going to cover the first OVA for the series. Yeah, and pretty much 4 videos, like 6 through 8, will cover basically season 2. 9 will cover the second OVA for the series. And the 10th episode will cover the film. Yes, the series of the film. I will cover that probably last. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. And that's probably it for all videos I can do tonight. Because I highly doubt I can finish up 4 episodes in, well, basically if I started like right after this video, it probably won't be until after midnight by the time I finish it up. Yep. So expect to see videos tomorrow for this particular series. Yep. But until I see you all in the next video. Bye.